There will always be people that were born different. There will always be people whom society looks down upon for their differences. They're disabled. Some are born this way, others have an event happen to them that leads to them being not quite the same as they once were before. Disabilities range from physical to mental to even emotional. No matter the case, whether born or thrust upon them, people have succeeded. Stephen Hawking, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Frida Kahlo, Vincent van Gogh, etc. All these people struggle to succeed because of their disabilities. They had to overcome great obstacles. According to Jesus and the Catholic Church, this should not be. Instead, like the Christ, we should all help those that are born vulnerable, making society equal to them, letting them take on their roles and responsibilities just like anyone else, but with equal opportunities for everyone in society. There are two key things in which the Pope has said things regarding the disabled: alienation and inclusion. Disabled people are often alienated for their disabilities and because society has no idea what to do with them, seeing them as a challenge to overcome, to overlook. According to U.S. Catholic bishops in 1986, number 55, alienation is still a reality in Western societies because of consumerism. This does not help one's appreciation one's authentic personhood, and because of work which shows interest only in profit and not in the workers, considering them to be mere means. What essentially happens is so many people are devalued because of their disabilities, which is a sense of their own uniqueness, and are therefore alienated due to the fact that their gifts, some consider their disabilities a curse, but in reality it is a gift from God. Similar to how women were created in God's image, despite the society not treating them equally. Impedes economic processes. In regards to inclusion, Archbishop Harry Flynn of Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis in 2003 stated that our goal must be to create intercultural communities where people of different cultures become part of one's community in which all are transformed in Christ. In these communities, different cultural groups can maintain their unique cultural practices, but they participate in one diverse community in which all are enriched and all welcome one another. Catholic Church's ultimate goal is to include everyone, all cultures, all people with a wide range of differences into its family, because that is what the Church is, a group made up of different people with different gifts but with similar views of the world. According to Catholic social teaching, the option for the poor and the vulnerable encourages us to imitate Christ's love for the poor by working to create a society where the needs of the people are always considered first. Jesus is the ultimate example of how to help the disabled. He could heal the blind, and he could heal those that could not walk. Disabilities which a lot of people struggle with. Difficulties which many cannot sense a way out of. In John chapter 9, verses 3 through 7, Jesus first states, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned," said Jesus. "This happened so that the work of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am the world, I am the light of the world. I am in the world, I am the light of the world." After saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. "Go," he told them, "wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sin. So a man washed and came home seeing. In this passage, Jesus clarifies that people are disabled, or at least this man was blind, so others may seek to help him, so that they may go and help them, helping the poor and the vulnerable. But also, Jesus shows by example that people should help those that are blind in whatever way they can or whatever way is possible. In Luke chapter 5, verses 18 through 20, the following occurs. Some men took a man who was unable to move his body to Jesus. He was carried on a bed. They looked for a way to take the man into the house where Jesus was, but they could not find a way to take him in because of so many people. They made a hole in the roof over where Jesus stood. Then they let the bed with the sick man on it down before Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to them, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." This passage shows a pair of truly determined friends, people that go above and beyond the call of duty to help their friends see Jesus. People should imitate these brave men, these innovative men, these fantastical men for their determination and willingness to help their sick and disabled friend. But this passage does not stop there, as in verses 24 through 25 of the same chapter of Luke, Jesus does the following. So that you may know the Son of Man has the right and the power and the earth to forgive sins, he said to a man who could not move his body, I say to you, get up, take your bed, and go to your home. At once the sick man got up in front of him. He took his bed and went his home, thanking God. Jesus then went on to heal the man after the Pharisees were trying him for forgiveness sins. He did these two things in these verses: forgave sins and healed the sick, as all people should. He forgave the man for his sins that were committed against God and were therefore committed against him, but then went on to heal him, as all people should. People should forgive the disabled for any sins done against them and go on to help them in any way they can. Two major civilizations show the way that people with disabilities are treated. Ancient Greece, according to GreatCoursesDaily.com, in ancient Greece, any disabled children were seen as a sign of inferiority and curse. A disabled Spartan baby was in all likelihood abandoned by a nearby hillside. The disabled did things that an able person did not have to do. They took up the professions of a jeweler, a blacksmith, or painter. They also became entertainers and earned money by entertaining people at the cost of their deformities. Ancient Greece, birthplace of astronomy, certain mathematical principles, love for the forms of sculpture and theater, as well as those of philosophy. Yet, the ancient Greeks, in all their marvelous wisdom, could not come up with a way of life that treated the disabled as equals. This makes one think of the disabled in today's day and age. Vincent van Gogh, less than 200 years ago, due to his mental incapacities, was dependent on his younger brother Theo, it's spelled Theo, but it's pronounced Theo, for money to survive, and the fact that many did not see his paintings as good, but the point is true. What about the modern day, whereas those that suffer from dwarfism have trouble obtaining jobs in the entertainment industry? Yes, there are those few like Jason Acuna, aka Wee Man, and Brad Williams, Peter Dinklage, and Warwick Davis, but to start their careers, many had to suffer discrimination, or in the case of Jason Acuna and Brad Williams, started their careers by making comedy specials and reaction videos that made fun of their disabilities. On the other side of the spectrum, pun not intended, but will be gladly taken credit for, there is euthanasia. One of the most infamous cases of euthanasia was in Germany during the Third Reich, going from 1931 until 1941 officially, but being carried out by certain groups until 1945, known as the T4 program. The program was officially called this because of the institution Tiergartenstrasse 4. According to Britannica.com, the program was an effort to kill incurably ill, physically or mentally disabled, emotionally distraught, and elderly people. The reason many people were killed was based on their economic productivity. This was because many people believed that those that were not economically productive led burdensome lives or were useless eaters. Although at first the method of killing these decided for death was lethal injection or starvation, later on they began to kill the unfit using the infamous gas chambers, which were disguised as showers. Nazis then sent fake death certificates to relatives, along with urns filled with ashes of those that had died. The Catholic Church was upset with the mercy killings occurring in Germany, although they protested, very few did anything about it. In fact, it was mostly members of the Jewish Council that decided to do anything about the killings by trying to save members of the disabled community for the anecdotes, which were the precursors to extermination camps. Thankfully, the program ended with the war. However, euthanasia can still be seen today, as during the first trimester of pregnancy, many children are aborted by their parents due to complications or disabilities that might happen due to prenatal diagnoses. In fact, according to TheHill.com, because of this societal bias, from 1998 to 2011, data shows that 67% of women who received a positive prenatal diagnosis for Down syndrome had an abortion. There are also still forms of euthanasia, such as assisted suicide, which is legal in 11 states: California, Colorado, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Montana, Maine, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. And according to NBC News worldwide, euthanasia is legal in 7 countries: Belgium, Luxembourg, Canada, New Zealand, Spain, the Netherlands, and Colombia. This is a human rights issue, as assisted suicide and euthanasia have historically been used to end the lives of the disabled, and is currently used to end the lives of those that wish to die due to pain or suicidal thoughts. Most recently, there have been several films that cover the topic of disability, including Finding Dory with short-term memory loss, Theory of Everything with Lou Gehrig's disease, Wonder with Treacher-Collins syndrome, Dear Evan Hansen with social anxiety disorder, and Words on Bathroom Walls, which deals with schizophrenia. There are older films like A Beautiful Mind, which deals with schizophrenia, and Forrest Gump, which deals with amputees as well as polio. Go back inside.
What?
Please. After the film, Gary Sinise, who portrayed amputee Lieutenant Dan, formed the Gary Sinise Foundation, which is focused on helping veterans after coming home. There's also a show that deals with autism called The Good Doctor. Going to superheroes, there was a film called The Eternals, featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which featured a mute and deaf actress named Lauren Ridloff playing the speedster Makari. She was chosen based on talent alone and was allowed to use her disability on screen, talking with several characters who spoke American Sign Language. Back to her. In fact, the entire cast learned ASL in order to communicate with her. In the show Hawkeye, the character Echo was portrayed by Maya Lopez, who was born without part of her left leg, as well as being born deaf and mute. Again, she was decided based on talent alone, and the crew accommodated her disabilities and incorporated them into her character. Marvel superhero Daredevil, who is blind, has also been gained a lot of attention from media, as in 2015, he had a television series on Netflix. He also appeared in No Way Home. There are many Catholic groups in Ohio, but also nationwide, with the initiative to help the disabled, whether as a mental, physical, emotional, or developmental disability. One such example of a nationwide organization that helps those with developmental disabilities is the American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, AAIDD. One of their principles, according to their website, AAIDD.org, is to influence positive attitudes and public awareness to contributions of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is important because people born with intellectual and developmental disabilities are often not given a fair chance in society and struggle in school, schooling often being highly valued when being considered for jobs, and sought after occupations often requiring a master's or bachelor's degree. And that's after struggling for 13 years through elementary, middle, and high school. This is important, but so is the awareness of disabilities, as well as to be shown with the media. In Ohio, there is a group called the Employment First Initiative. The opening line of their initiative statement on their website, OhioEmploymentFirst.org, is beautifully worded. Every person has disabilities, skills, and talents to enrich the community and people around us. We envision a time when every working age adult with developmental disabilities has the opportunity to explore their career options and seek jobs that fit their skills and interests. That is just the beginning of their statement. If the readers look at the final statement, states employers and co-workers benefit through more diversity and a broader range of capable employees available, while society at large benefits when all citizens are to participate and contribute to their societies in all the ways they can. All this is incredibly important, as every person does have abilities that can benefit the community, as well as those around them, and they shouldn't be denied their opportunity to help their community. Their initiative to help people participate and contribute to their community through their resources is fantastic. One amazing humanitarian effort that is outside the disabled community and the Catholic Diocese is the Wounded Warrior Project. Part of their mission statement on their website, woundedwarriorproject.org, reads, more than 52,000 servicemen and women physically injured in military efforts. 500,000 living with invisible wounds from depression to post-traumatic stress disorder. 320,000 experiencing debilitating brain trauma. Advancements in technologies and medicine save lives, but the quality of those lives might be profoundly altered. Numbers speak for themselves because not every warrior can. With the support of our community of donors and team members, we give a voice to those needs and empower our warriors to begin the journey to recover. The disabilities that those in the military suffer once they come home, from post-traumatic stress disorder and brain trauma to depression, are horrible. These people suffer invisible wounds that many do not know how to treat. So helping and spreading awareness is extremely important. Representation is important in the fight against disabilities. If anyone out there reading or listening is listening to this paper is disabled, speak up. Tell others about your disability, especially during this month of Disability Awareness Month. Let your teachers know about it. Get the help that you deserve. May it take a doctor's note or two, sure, but get the help that you need as soon as possible. How can people help the disabled community? How can they get involved in accommodating ours? First of all, March and July, apparently, it's Disability Awareness Month, so celebrate the heck out of it. Speak up against hate speech. Stop your friends from saying the R word. Also, if a person is struggling, ask them about it. Become a tutor to help those with developmental disabilities. A person can donate to the foundation mentioned or go looking for a disability charity by simply Googling blank disability charity and fill in the blank with whatever type of disability a person wants to donate to. Most importantly of anything, it is important to help people learn from disabilities, so in your free time research disabilities, find out more about the disabled, destroy misconceptions in your mind by educating yourself about disabilities even after reading/listening to this paper. Thank you. And I hope you have a great day. Recently I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and autism. I'm on the autism spectrum. I'm high functioning. I'm very lucky for it. I consider myself to be very lucky. Unfortunately, St. Joe's couldn't help me, but I am receiving the help that I need. So I hope everyone knows that I'm fine and that, well, we're all gonna beat this.